The housing crisis in America, and the presidential candidates offer differing solutions. So set politics aside, there is a housing crisis all its own. A significant black-white mortgage access gap, according to studies done by a group called Reinvestment Fund. It is a mission-driven financial institution committed to making communities work for all people. How big is that gap right here in Jacksonville? Well, the mortgage denial rate for black applicants is 20%. White applicants experience a denial rate of 8.7%. Do the math. It's an 11.4% gap that exists. What accounts for it, and how can that gap be closed? Joining me is Emily Dowdall, President of Policy Solutions for the Reinvestment Fund. Appreciate you joining me right here on the Morning Show. Thanks for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
So let's talk about the systemic problems that go beyond income, things like credit and debt, and also a generational gap that exists in the black community.
Absolutely. So our research shows that one of the biggest drivers of these mortgage denial gaps is debt. And we know that black families are less likely to have savings as a result of some historical factors, and therefore black college graduates have more student loan debt than their white counterparts. And so that makes it really hard to qualify for a home loan to get that starter home.
So the study also shows that black applicants were significantly more likely to have their applications denied than white applicants. So what other factors come into play?
That's right. Even after controlling for financial factors like income, debt, loan-to-value ratio, we still saw that among high-qualified borrowers, black applicants were more likely to get denied.
So this brings about the question, how do we fix the problem? What are the solutions? And it's multi-pronged.
That's right. You absolutely have to come with a suite of strategies to address this. Strategies should address the financial factors such as income, debt-to-income ratio, loan-to-value ratio, that are effectively excluding a segment of black buyers from the market. Strategies can include treating student loan debt differently than credit card debt. Also, down payment assistance programs can help to bring down the total loan amount, bringing down that loan-to-value ratio. But given what we saw, that even among high qualified borrowers, there's still these disparities, I think there's still a role for anti-discrimination laws.
Also equivalent laws and making sure that those laws are applicable comes into play here too.
That's right. It can be really difficult to identify cases of discrimination and prove that, but when we look across systems and keep seeing these patterns again and again, we know that something's going on.
Okay, so when you look at history, this is a problem that goes back to the 1930s. Are you confident that, given that fact, that we can overcome this?
We've come a long way since the 1930s. Although there is some evidence that some type of what we might call modern day redlining still does exist. And the black homeownership rate just hasn't recovered since the foreclosure crisis. However, I am confident that if we work together, if we keep paying attention to these types of patterns and we bring in sectors, including the private sector, as well as the public sector and nonprofit sector to really work together, we can address these barriers and we can close these gaps.
I don't want to mince words here, but there is racism that exists when it comes to giving out mortgages.
That's right. There does appear to be patterns related to racism. And so there's, it's still important for researchers to keep lifting this up, and for individual home buyers, if they experience racism, to report that so that there can be enforcement of those laws.
So what recourse do these homeowners have if they encounter it?
Well, they can reach out to their local fair housing organization. They can file a complaint with HUD. So they can go to both, a private attorney or go through the public sector route.
All right. And how about the whole generational issue? Are inroads being made in that vein?
Sure. So there is difficulty across, all groups of Americans in terms of buying homes right now for a whole host of reasons. The prices have gone up.
It's not affordable.
It's not affordable, especially compared to what people are earning right now. People are working really hard and they still just can't save enough. And so it's really important, and we've seen inroads made where employers help out with down payment assistance, things like that. That can really help to get more of this next generation into starter homes.
Mm-hmm. Now, we're not just talking ownership, we're talking about renting too.
Sure. Rents are really high compared to what people are earning across the country, really uniformly. People are only, a standard measure is that you shouldn't expect to pay more than 30% of your income towards your housing costs. But there are many people out there who are paying 50% or more of their income, which means they can't really save up much money, which means they can't save up to buy a home, they can't save up for unexpected medical expenses. It makes it really tough.
And because of the cost of housing, the American dream has become an American nightmare. You don't want to come upside down.
That's right. There is a risk of getting upside down in mortgages, although in the current market, the prices seem to be staying steadily high. But there is always a question of, are those prices going to come down and how much?
And Emily, if people want more information, what's a good resource?
You can take a look at our website. It's reinvestment.org, and that will have our reports.
Pretty simple, reinvestment.org. Thanks very much for coming.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.